Well, here I am, the Montebello Island group off Western Australia with my very good friend Matthew Gates from Tackle World Exmouth. Is it all right if I call you Matthew?
Oh, I don't think it's too bad, mate.
Now, the Montebello's a great part of the world. You don't fish here a lot, but I'm tipping it's similar to Exmouth.
Yeah, 140 miles, not the sort of thing you can do on a day trip, obviously. That's why you come on these trips to do this. Mate, it's a similar sort of reef systems we've got coming up the coast here. We want to go and chuck some lures, some stickbaits, sliders, poppers at the back of the reef. I'm pretty sure the principles will be the same. We're just going to have to apply what we apply down the coast, and yeah, we should find a few fish.
Sensational. There's only one scary aspect of today, and that is that Hal Harvey is at the wheel. Hal, take us to fishing Nirvana. GT fishing is all about punching long casts into the back of these reefs. It's pretty tough at times because you've got an offshore breeze that makes it really, really difficult. Oh, look at the big long toms chasing that. Get away, get away, get away, get away. Look at those fish. Look at them, look at him. Massive fish. That makes it really difficult because you've got to cast as far as you can, because the more ground you cover, Matt, the more chance you've got to get the fish in it.
That also can make it a little bit hard, Paul, having the waves like that in the background. The swell's up a little bit today, so you've got to take safety into consideration. So you can't always get as close as you would like to get some of the time. I seem to have got a long tom stuck on me GT popper here, Paul. Not that they're a desirable species, really, the long tom, not what we're looking for, but you can have a look at some of the nastiest fangs on a little inshore predator's face. So you can see you wouldn't want to be a little bait fish around his face, that's for sure. Beautiful blues, but not what we're looking for. We'll get rid of him, dead casting.
Things you see when you go fishing.
Oh mate, that's amazing, isn't it?
GTs are not even in my mind at the moment. How beautiful those creatures.
Mate, we're just cruising along the back of the reef and you just sort of saw them out of the corner of your eye. You go over and have a look, and that's remarkable to actually end up getting that close to them. Sometimes they can always sound and you don't get to see them that close. That's pretty special.
I think one of the reasons we got so close is because of that thing. It's almost as quiet as a whale. We went in on stealth mode.
That's very much right.
Man, that is so cool. Whales are like fireworks. You never get sick of looking at them.
No, most definitely not.
Oh, look at him there.
He's still there.
Oh, yeah.
Good fish. Come on, baby.
Yeah, he's on it, he's on it. And you got him, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a few fish there, I think.
There's a couple there.
Good. I'm just going to get this lure anyway, Matt.
Yeah, okay,
oh,
mate.
Look at the size of the fish behind it.
That's a shark.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'll get this lure out of his way then.
We've come back into this point after re-rigging, Paul, and obviously there's still a couple of fish here.
Well, no.
I didn't see how big this fish was, but... Oh, he's in the coral, mate. Oh, he's out. He's in the coral. Oh, he's out. Oh,
Geez, some action there. The shark. I reckon 2 fish come up on your lure. And all this 50 yards from where we saw those incredible whales.
Oh.
He's got a bit of stink, hasn't he?
Yeah. Even the smaller fish do. They're a big fish as fish go, but not as GTs go. But
now, I know it's hard to talk, Matty, while you're doing this, but what are the tips for fighting a GT?
Well, I get that bit of frayed line on my reel is probably a start. Basically, we've just got to keep the wood on as much as possible. Unfortunately, a lot of fish, you try and take it easy sometimes and not push them too hard so you don't pull hooks. It is a risk you take on GTs, mainly because if you give them a head, they'll take you into the coral every time.
Well, I can see your fish, mate. He's under the boat.
We're getting him closer now, mate.
And it is a nice G.
We'll get him a bit closer, mate. Get you to grab him by the tail.
Certainly. I'm just going to step in where you are.
Just about got the leader up there.
Oh, that's a nice
fish. He's okay, mate?
Okay, just let him relax a little.
You okay there, Paul?
Yep, all good. mate. Just wanting to relax a little here. And I got him. And that is a very fair start, Matt.
He's okay. Look at the markings on that fish.
Look at that. And
they're a special
now,
feature.
I'm going to say this, but it's not a big GT.
No,
but
it's a big fish, but
it's still a big fish. And how's the way he had you all wrapped up in a lot of trouble?
No. Yeah, he actually found the coral there. I noticed there was a little bit of frayed line. There's a bit of damage on the leader there. I could just feel him touching.
Afraid not.
Afraid not. It's a good job he replaced that Kevlar loop you can see on the bottom there, because nice fresh one. Corner hook in the jaw.
Well,
unhook him and send him on his way.
You've done good, Matty. What a morning. Mackerel have busted us off. We've seen some whales. First G in the boat. This is pretty special fishing. This is the Montebello Islands. Matty, all there is to do is get that lure out of his gob.
Which we will do.
And then are you happy for me to set him free?
I think we can, mate.
Sounds like a plan. Well, thank you for your efforts, Mr. G. It is time to set you free. Now, let's swim in for a little bit. They are tough as nails, these fish. But I do just, oh look, he's ready to go, look at that. And away he goes, off he goes. That is just a beautiful thing. How's the way that tail just disappeared to the depths? He's going back to his mate saying, Worsley and Gates, they're unbelievable.
Slow the slider down, Polly, keep it coming.
Oh, yes.
Yep, you got him this time, mate. Rightio, mate, well done.
Good call, Matty.
Well done, mate.
Oh, how's the power of these fish? And this is a hot bite, Matt.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
This sort of fishing can be tough when you do 100 casts of fish, but we're getting a fish on every cast
at the moment, mate. All right, just drop that rod tip down. No, I think it's a G. It's a lovely G, mate. It's the one we want.
Oh!
Here we go.
Oh!
Another one, about the same size as the last one. Oh, sorry, mate.
You're right. That is a cracker fish.
Look at the big black tail on it. They're all power, mate. Just stay with me there. I'll just let him go if he wants to go.
Yep.
Oh, making the sunnies a bit wet.
What a fish.
I'll let him go, Paul. I don't want to pull the hooks out of him.
Sorry about the lens. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to wash that, and then you're going to see my beautiful GT. Okay, the lens is clean. It's time to get back to the GT. Matty, this time can you do less of the washing machine effect, please?
I'll do my very best, mate.
Mate, he's still got so much to go.
I know.
It's hard to lift when I get that side plane happening.
Rightio.
Whoa.
Still got so much power in the system there.
That is so exciting.
Thank
you so much, mate.
300 horsepower's on the back, mate. These things have got some horsepower with them too, I'll tell you.
Give me a hand.
I'll just cradle him there so we don't just lift him. You got him?
Yep, I got him.
Rightio.
Now I'm holding him with that. How is the shoulders on that thing, Matt?
How's the old wings on them too, mate? Look at that. And they're just a bait fish eating machine.
The thing that blew me away about this was your lure had fish behind it. I cast a fish that I sighted, and then even in this stiff breeze, the cast landed sort of where I wanted it to go.
Good enough, mate. There's the proof in the pudding.
And I stopped just like you said, mate. Yeah. That is awesome. Look at that Yozuri slider there, one of my favourite lures of all time, 140 mil at sinks. And I just love them, Matt, because you can use them as a stick bait on the surface like a popper. You can get them down low.
And when you did slow it down, they still maintain a good action, which still encourages the fish to go on with the feed, and then hence you get the hooker.
Just too good. We'll get the hooks out of this girl or guy, then it's going back to the reef, because I reckon there's plenty more fish with our name on it.
Let's do it. Here we go. Paul's going to continue casting with his slider in the background. I'm just going to run you through what I'm using here. This is a big popper, a chugger, which is used slightly different from the slider that Paul's using there. As you can see, it's attached with some pretty heavy-duty mono there. We've got 150 pound twisted at the bite leader end there, and we use solid rings and owner split rings there for extra strength. As you can see, these fish have got a lot of power. The other thing to note is we're not using trebles on this occasion. A couple of reasons we do it. Paul's just getting a follow in the background in the corner of my eye. We use these because it's a lot easier to release the fish. As you can see, we pull them out. They're also, the SJ41s are a very strong hook for this sort of fishing. Okay, now I want to show you how I do my retrieve. We open the bar arm. We've got a leader inside the guides here. The popper, probably 2 feet hanging from the rod tip. With this sort of fishing, we've got a bit of wind into our face, so we give it a fair cast nicely on that reef edge. And what I do is I don't just crank the popper in. As you can see, it's a lift of the rod, a wind of the slack, a lift of the rod, and then wind of the slack. And it's trying to get that bloop action there on that popper. It looks like a fleeing or injured bait fish on the back of the reef there, and we just continue working that popper down. As I get the popper closer to the boat, I do tend to drop my rod tip lower, so I'm not pulling the popper out of the water like that when I lift the rod high. So we get in close again, leave the popper hanging 2 feet around from the rod tip. Time to bend your back, put the cast in towards the reef again, and just keep repeating the process. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's a good one, mate.
Oh!
That's a better one.
I saw him eat that, Matty.
Just got to try and keep him off that reef there, Paul.
That was insane. You just said if we're going to get a big fish, it's going to be the next 5 casts.
This one feels, I don't like calling it up too much or talking it up too much, but I think he might be a little bit better than the first one.
Yeah, I reckon he was, mate. I saw him come out of the water and hit it.
Let's see what happens. Just button drag down a little bit more to lead him away from the reef. Let's just hope we've got a good hook in him.
Do you think people actually know this sort of fishing exists? Like being able to cast knowing there's fish there and just pull some big G's?
I don't even know if we do, Paul, do we?
I know.
We just prospect, as you used the word earlier. It's just something you do. I think people that are interested in GTs is these days articles written, shows as yourself on television so you can see it, books you can read, forums. There's a lot you can look at, so that's how you learn. And then just basically putting it into practice as we're describing today.
Now, how long have you been GT fishing for?
Oh, it's a hard thing to say, mate. Probably 15, 18 years, somewhere in that. Probably just under 20 years will be about right.
So you must have had some monumental stuff-ups in that time. The learning curve must have been steep.
Mate, we started with 30-pound braid and we thought that was heavy in the old days.
Yep.
Now we're fishing 120, and as you can see, you can definitely get pushed to the limit.
And people talk about kilos of drag. How many kilos of drag do you reckon on there?
Mate, couldn't even tell you. As you can see, what I do is I'll let the fish take when I really think I've got to.
Yep.
But when I don't, I just clamp down with my thumb or my forefinger on the spool.
Yep.
That's why we also wear these casting gloves or fishing gloves. And that way, I'm just going to have to get round that outboard there, boys.
Yeah, right. We'll get out of your way. We're just here busy making some television, but we'll get out of your way. Don't mind us.
Could you move your rod there, please,
Certainly.
Paul? That way, with the pressure you can apply, you can monitor it. If you tend to do the drag up, not always you'll back it off in time. And I'm just going to get stretched over this gunnel now.
So in your opinion, kilos of drag is a bit of a fallacy, you reckon?
I think it is. I think a lot of people tend to talk it up. I think you just push what the conditions will suit and what the environment will suit, and often what your back can handle. He's just gone under there a bit.
He's
a
down
little bit of colour there, mate.
That's all good, he's down there. When they get on their side, they're big flank fish, aren't
big
they?
Big dinner plates, mate. We're getting close with this one now. There's a flash of black tail.
Oh, I see some size to this G. He's
got a bit of a leader there, Paul.
Oh, look at that. He's a nice fish.
That's a bit better than the last one, Paul.
It is. Let me in here.
All right, mate. He's all yours.
Sorry.
Oh, I'll let the bail arm open there.
Sorry, mate.
It's all right. All good.
His tail was rounder than what my fingers actually go. And this boat has some big gunnels. Darren from Cobra Marine, next time you lend me a boat, mate, could you please do me a favour and put an ice box in it so I can stand on it?
Have you got it, mate?
I think I've got it.
Well done, Paul.
Oh, that's a big fish, mate.
That's better, isn't it?
That is a big fish.
That was beautiful.
And how's the way he hit that? I'm gonna just lay him against my chest because he's hard to hold.
There's those SJ41 in the corner of the jaw, and the swinging hook's actually under there as well, so we had a bit of double security there. That was a 1 bite hookup, that one, and we've had a few so far today have a couple of goes and bounce off and come back again. He must have been real hungry, mate, and he thought that fusilier or mullet there at the back of the reef, which was the popper, was lunch.
Now, Matty, you're a GT junkie, scientific name?
Caranx ignobilis.
Well, they are very noble, these fish. Mate, I'm going to have to put it down because it hurts.
Fair enough.
Matty, if you can do me the honours and get those hooks out.
Yeah, we will, mate. We'll take them out. Again, another fish just lightly hooked, mate, which is a good thing. Well hooked enough, but enough so we didn't damage the fish.
That's still a good thing. Now, this isn't good for my back. Have we got any occupational health and safety on this boat?
We'll pull him up and cradle him like that. Try not to lift him too much directly by the tail. As you don't, you just cradle him like that, and we'll let him go to fight another day, Paul.
Yes. And so important with big fish, just to get that oxygen going through his... Look at him, he's going. I can feel the kick. I'm just going to hold him there and he's going to disappear. Look at that, away he goes. And down to the depths.
on.
Got him?
He's in the reef, mate. No, he's out. Not so sure this is a GT, mate. Got a feeling this might be some form of reef fish.
And that's the reason you went to the stickbait, is
Yeah,
it?
well, they're just a bit of variation. Caught a couple of nice GTs.
I tell you what, that wind's getting a bit in it.
It is. I thought this reef might look a bit better. See what else we can find. Oh, we got a big spango.
Ah,
They're everywhere around this place, aren't they?
they are beautiful fish too, aren't they? Imagine how hard this thing has to
Look
fight
at the
for.
size of the bait that fish is eating.
Imagine how hard this thing has to fight for a feed when he's fighting in there with all those GTs. Come here, mate. Okay, maybe he doesn't want to come here.
Come in.
When he's fighting,
Mind those hooks in
when
your arm there.
he's fighting me, come on, relax, that's better. He's fighting all those G's, everything else for a feed, and look at that, he's come through and nailed a lure. It's as big as his head.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Shows the aggression of those. They're supposed to be a reef fish. He just took that stick bait just a couple of inches under the surface.
Right, we'll get these hooks out, mate, and he can go back. Well done, Mr. Spangley. Well, out,
Beautifully done.
and away he goes. See you, Mr. Spangley. Hey, that way. Mackerel!
Beautiful.
How good was that? Now, the only trouble is I got an assist hook on the back. I was actually casting that for the GT we just saw, and he's come through and hit the stick bait.
I'll just get this lure in.
You're right, mate. That's just wrong.
That shows you the advantage of stick baits and the variations of species. Look at that. He's pretty green there, Paul.
A little bit. I sort of stopped him in his tracks. 80-pound fins is the way of doing that. How cool was that, Matty?
We're just going to come straight in. Mind those teeth. You grab his tail there, Paul, if you can.
Got it.
You've got to watch the sharp end of these ones, mate.
Well,
There we go. Narrow-barred Spanish mackerel.
I got to say, Matt, I'll take my glasses off. I can still see water on the lens, but that means we're catching fish. Beautiful Spanish mackerel. Last fish of the day on a stick bait when I was actually casting at the GT that followed your lure. And just 3 casts before, I reckon I had a GT, what, 50 pound?
Oh, it was a good fish. It's hard to say from that distance, but whoa, he's still happy, this one.
So there's some good news and some bad news, Matthew.
Okay, fill me in.
The bad news is that we're saying goodbye to everyone at home. The good news is I'm going to let you take me fishing for about another hour.
Okay, mate, we'll see what we can do.
Matthew Gates, Paul Westling, Montebello Islands, Western Australia. Gotta love this.